Orders? Yeah! Nice try. My turn.
I have to fight.
Yesterday, the newest game mode for Fire Emblem Heroes debuted. Rokkr Sieges is a new PvE type mode where you are pitted against a big raid type boss, aka the Røkkr. In this video, we'll cover the basics of the mode if you're still confused and hopefully help you better understand what's going on moving forward. I also want to share some tips I've learned so far, and do keep in mind this mode has a lot of room for different strategies, so feel free to share any that you've been using in the comments so far. As a short summary, the mode itself features a 7-turn battle where you need to deal as much damage as possible to the Røkkr boss. The Røkkr is a special enemy type that cannot be killed like normal and features a couple new skills you want to understand. The Røkkr has an insane amount of health, but don't worry, you can multiply your damage dealt by defeating reinforcements or attacking the Røkkr itself. At the end of these 7 turns, or if you lose all your units, allied players will assist you by dealing massive damage to the Røkkr, and this is the only way to actually KO it. Defeating the Røkkr is important, but the main goal of this mode is focusing on damage dealt, and the rewards you can earn is based on this stat over the course of the event. Let's now dive into some more details. Rokkr Sieges pull many similarities from Grand Conquest, including the fact that the event is split into 3 sets of 2-day-long battles or rounds. This means the event lasts for 6 days total. On the main menu screen, it shows what battle or round is occurring, and the world number is basically how the player base is split up. Players in your world number will be your allies that come in to finish off the Røkkr, but they are also going to be your competition for some of the rewards. You can choose from 3 difficulties, and you should know that they determine the max amount of damage you can deal to the Røkkr in the fight. Beginner has a maximum of 15,000, intermediate is 20,000, and advanced is 25,000. This number is multiplied by how much stamina you decide to spend, and like Grand Conquest, you can choose to spend up to 8 stamina at once if you wish. Stamina regens at a rate of 1 per hour, and you can hold up to 8. Instead of Conquest Lances, you can use and earn Havoc Axes, which grant 8 full stamina should you want to play more. Again, very similar system to Grand Conquest. Røkkrs have tons of health, but there is a boost multiplier that amplifies your damage dealt, and it's key to get a higher boost for more damage. Difficulty once again determines the base multiplier. Beginner is 1 times, intermediate is 2 times, and advanced is 4 times. You can increase this base value by doing 2 things. Initiating combat against the Røkkr grants plus 0.1. Defeating the reinforcement enemies that appear also grant 0.12. But it's also multiplied by the difficulty value, so intermediate grants plus 0.2 and advanced grants plus 0.4. If you decide to spend more than 1 stamina, all of these values are multiplied by the amount of stamina you use, so feel free to use more stamina for one battle if you are short on time. Now, the Røkkr bosses are more than just bigger, purple versions of other units. They are affected by the same features of the unit they possess, however, so the legendary Erica Røkkr boss is a sword cavalier, and you'll want to bring blue units or cavalry effectiveness weapons to fight her. From my experience, there are multiple Røkkr bosses, which I believe will switch out in the different rounds of the event. They also appear on a few different maps, some which may be easier for you than others. If you manage to defeat a Røkkr, a new one appears, and I believe it has more HP you'll need to get through. The Røkkr have 3 special skills. Their weapon is Umbra Burst, which grants distant counter or close counter for ranged units, and always deal a minimum of 1 damage. Their special is called Umbra Calamity, and this is what creates the most problems when fighting the Røkkr. It's on a 9-turn cooldown, and when it's charged, after combat deals 15 damage to the target and any foes within 2 spaces of the target, plus the Røkkr swaps spaces with the target. This is a very annoying special, and managing how often it activates is key to making this fight easier to manage. The Røkkr Sacred Seal neutralizes any out of combat damage except in specials that trigger before combat, aka the Area of Effect specials. The Røkkr cannot be taken down to 0 HP unless it's from the allied army's attacks, and the Røkkr cannot recover HP. Overall, the Røkkr has lower base stats than a normal unit, but the Umbra Calamity special can generate a lot of chaos for your team. You'll also need to watch out for the reinforcement units. While the main goal is to do a lot of damage, you'll need to stay alive first to do so. For rewards, it's once again very similar to Grand Conquest. I would assume rewards will be granted at the end of each 2-day battle, and there were 3 total battles overall. If that's not the case, I would be pretty upset myself. Anyway, damage rewards include a multitude of levels that can be earned by passing a certain total damage score. The max is 200,000 total damage, and that can get you 5 orbs, 10 sacred coins, and 10 refining stones overall. Do this for all 3 rounds, and that's 15 orbs, 30 sacred coins, and 30 refining stones, which is pretty much the same as what Grand Conquest offers. Rank rewards are not cumulative levels and instead are tier based on your damage total. You are competing against the other people in your world, so while you may only need 200,000 total damage for the damage rewards, if you want to place higher on the rank rewards, you will need to score more, kinda similar to Tempest Trials. These tiers offer hero feathers with the max granting 3,000 feathers, and it decreases slightly for every set of tiers afterwards. There is a third set of rewards, and those come from defeating Røkkr bosses. Unfortunately, doing so only gets you smaller rewards like blessings or leveling shards or badges. They are useful items, but for most players it's not as important as things like refining stones. Their main goal for all players should be to reach 200,000 total damage, and after that you can play as much as you want for pride and hero feathers until the next round starts. Repeat this 3 times and that's the whole event. Now I just want to share some tips for Rokkr Sieges, and I probably won't cover every single thing, mainly just the tactics I've been using. First and foremost, the healing specials are extremely useful because you are dealing hundreds of damage if you have a decent multiplier. Noontime, Soul, and Aether all heal based off those huge numbers. This means you can heal for more than hundreds of health, and this is very useful to counteract Umbra Calamity and any regular damage too. Survivability is quite important in my opinion, however you want to deal as much damage as possible, so finding a balance between the two is ideal. For my team compositions, I found good success with 2 main damage dealers to fight the Røkkr, one ad clearer for the reinforcements, and then a dancer for utility. Brave Veronica is very strong for this mode if she has enough speed to double the enemy reinforcements. She provides healing in case of emergencies and can attack the Røkkr too. You don't need a healer, but combat medics with things like close counter or absorb staffs can be very good too. Another key tactic for me is to try and reduce the Røkkr's ability to use Umbra Calamity. This means using guard type skills to block their special charges, and this makes a world of difference. Special fighter army units are absolutely incredible for this mode. Their only downside is mobility. If you have Halloween Mia, her witchy wand staff can reset the entire 9 cooldown of Umbra Calamity, so you can imagine that is very useful too. Even just having one guard type effect on a unit makes a noticeable difference. Since we are talking tank abilities, I also want to mention Obstruct. I know, crazy right, but it's actually been a fun skill against Legendary Erica since her 3 movement can be an issue. Give it a try if you have a tanky unit. Another interesting ability I've only recently tried out is Gravity, or more specifically, I've been using Nyla, who has her own gravity type skill thanks to Glare. Preventing the Røkkr from moving around the map has made things a lot less stressful, and she is really good too since she also has distant counter, plus can run Noontime to continuously heal over and over. For pure damage, Glimmer and Astra arise as great specials. Astra is so good here because we don't care about overkill damage, we want as much damage as possible. Using effectiveness weapons are already very good if available. For example, against the Legendary Erica Røkkr, Pan is an amazing counter out of the box. She is blue, has effectiveness against cavalry, and has Astra to deal stupid amounts of damage. Against the Claire Røkkr, obviously you want an archer, and against Klein, maybe a Raventone mage would be a great, especially with Triangle Adept. I think my favorite part about this mode is the huge amount of strategies to utilize, and you don't need extremely powerful units either. I also want to mention that you can use pair up in this mode just like Allegiance battles. That means Legendary Roy or Alm are great to have and effectively allow you to have 2 units at once, opening up for more tactics. Overall, I actually really like the flow of this game mode. It's not just about ending fights in one round of combat. You need to deal with the Umbra Calamity special, and you can also build units to maximize damage. With the different Røkkr bosses, they provide different game plans and team compositions, which I really like. I think the scoring rewards are a bit off because I was able to get that 200,000 total damage with maybe 3 or 4 full stamina refreshes, and I was just testing out all kinds of weird setups that didn't work either. For the most part, these types of events are pretty friendly to new players, so I understand why it's like that, but I would hope it would be a little more incentive to keep going other than just getting a couple hundred extra feathers. Other than that, I think this is a great alternative to Grand Conquest. Both modes allow for a lot of gameplay variety. This is the first iteration, so hopefully Rokkr Sieges gets improved for the future. Let me know your thoughts on Rokkr Sieges so far, and please share any unit builds or tactics in the comments to help out fellow players. Depending on how things go, I'll probably talk about this mode more after it's finished. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys in the next video.